very big news in the world of premium carry. Peak Design has released 4 new products to the travel line. And I'm happy to say I've got all of them. Hey everyone, if you're new to the channel, this is Gear Grind Reviews. My name is Nathan. I do reviews and other types of videos about premium carry products just like this one. And real quick, Peak Design did send me all of the products that we're going to talk about today. This is not a sponsored video whatsoever. These are just my thoughts on it, my initial impressions of all of these products. Full reviews will definitely be coming out on at least 2 or 3 of these products. I can pretty much guarantee the travel backpack 2-in-1 is going to be the first one. I'm extremely excited about this. This is the iteration of a bag that's been my favorite one for, as long as I've had it, 7 years or more. And you will see some affiliate links depending on when you're watching this video. It'll either be the Kickstarter link as they're launching this product. If you're at all excited about this, this will be probably your only chance where it's going to be at this price. So I'd recommend just going for it if you think any of these will be of value to you. So check those links out below. It supports the channel in a small way, costs you nothing. So I'd really appreciate it if you do that. And subscribe to the channel if you are interested in those forthcoming reviews, because they're coming. Okay, so first up, the big boy, the star of the show, is the travel bag 2-in-1. So the most exciting thing about this backpack is it's poised to solve the real issue with one bag travel, I think. When you have one bag, it's probably gonna be very large. And it gets you there just fine, but once you're there on the ground to your destination and you wanna enjoy your time there, you have a huge turtle shell backpack, right? It might be much more than you need for what that day is going to bring. So how do they solve the one bag problem? They make it 2 bags. So what you're actually looking at here is a 34-liter backpack with a 16-liter backpack zipped to the front of it for a total of 50 liters, right? Wrong. The 16-liter portion is still a full-fledged backpack. So it's got the shoulder straps and it's got some light padding on the back. So you're gonna be using some of that volume when zipped together. So how they're positioning this is a 40-liter travel backpack. You'd still have 50 total liters, but you only achieve that when separate, if that makes sense. My first thought was, before receiving the backpack, I wonder how easy it is to actually get it attached or detached from the 34-liter volume. There's a pull tab on the zipper of the 34-liter, which makes it shockingly easy to grab and position so that you can align it with the zipper of this one. It's not something you want to do over and over and over, like in the airport probably, but really it's as good of an experience as I can imagine based on the concept of a 2-in-1 bag. And it's really cool that when you're using just the 16-liter portion, you're not really compromising in any real way. You still have water bottle pockets, you still have a top handle on there, you still have a way to store it on the handle of your luggage, and you still have the front zipper pocket. And even on the 34-liter version, if you're using just that part of the bag, you still have a front zip pocket there. So clearly designed. Whatever you're using, whether it's both together or each individually, it still operates as a pretty fully functional backpack. So to me, that's the most surprising part of what this product offers. I knew that it was a problem, but I didn't know I needed it solved like that. But now that I've used it in this way, I gotta say it's pretty genius, and I think I'm going to be a really big fan of that. This one, in my view, so far, it seems like it addresses many, if not every single complaint that I've seen about the original travel backpack. All things being equal, the improvements that the 2-in-1 backpack offers over this one, besides the feature of having 2 backpacks in one, there are some overall quality of life features that I think most people are really going to appreciate, and I think they've clearly listened to customer input here. So the first one, shoulder straps. So many people were talking about, it's a great bag, but man, it's not comfortable enough. It never bothered me too much until I really felt what they've come out with now, and it's way more substantial. I think that the main reason they made these thinner was so that they could store them behind the back panel. So how are they able to implement thicker straps in this design? They're no longer stowable in the back panel. They secure to the back with a magnet, and it works super well. Like, just by default, they kind of snap into place. So I think that's really cool. I'm good with that. It took enough time and enough thought to store them behind the back panel that I, most of the time, never did it. But you will see hip straps still stored underneath here. They're able to still accomplish that, which is great, because it is nice to know that in certain circumstances where you're really asking a lot of the backpack, you do have that at your disposal, and it's always there, ready to go if you need it. So to close out this portion of the video for the 2-in-1, I love this backpack. I can honestly say at this point that it has usurped my favorite backpack so far and most used backpack. The 45 liter may be soft retired. There may be some use cases where this might offer a bit more volume. I mean, it is a 45 liter backpack and this together is 40, but I think in most cases, this is gonna be the one I go with. Incredible fabrics, hardware. I can see that they really thought through each scenario and use case for this one. So I think it's gonna be my go-to for the foreseeable future. And next up is the Travel Backpack 20 liter in a very nice new stone color that has yellow accents in the stitching. I think this looks really, really nice. And it's one of 3 options, by the way. The other being the green that you saw on the 2-in-1, as well as black, like usual. So this kind of fills the gap in the travel line. Previously, if you didn't want a 45 or 30 liter travel backpack, you didn't really have an option. They do have a 20 liter option in the everyday backpack line, but I'd say that is a pretty different product. This one is from the ground up meant for travel. And you'll see a bunch of design cues and features introduced in the 2-in-1 travel backpack, notably, I think the same thickness of shoulder straps. Yeah, it seems like it, and does still have that magnetic feature. So in the same way, they kind of just snap into place, doing nothing, which is really cool how well that works. You've got a strap for storing it on the handle of luggage. This one has a strap here, and on the other, an interior pocket that you could put a water bottle or something else. So they kept the profile very slim, very streamlined for the 20 liter. I'll also say that I really like the quick access top pocket. That's something that's like so important to me. The size of it, the amount that you can reasonably put in there when you're going through security or just throughout any sort of day, because it's the quickest to get to. I've said it so many times in other videos, but really, really important to me. And I don't know if I'm alone on that, but on this one, really wide mouth to it. And I'd say there's more space in this front pocket than there is even on the 2-in-1. For the laptop compartment on the 20 liter, it is actually big enough to fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro, even with a case. It's definitely snug, but it for sure works, and it fits very securely. And this one does have an expansion zipper, so you can go from 20 liters to 23 very quickly. And on the inside, you'll see a single volume, that nice nylon ripstop material you've come to expect from Peak Design. Really like their execution there. And under the laptop compartment, you'll see a very passporty sized pocket right here with that stretchy material that they've used in their modern products. I really like that a lot. It has some subtle Peak Design branding on there. And just like the 2-in-1 travel backpack, you have a teensy tiny little hidden AirTag pocket right under the zipper. And this was very surprising to me. I did not expect to be able to fit a camera cube, much less a medium-sized camera cube, which is the one I always use. You're gonna want to expand it, but it totally works. Okay, next up, we have a bit of a deviation. This is the Travel Weekender 25 liter. I think it's pretty clearly designed to be a companion for Peak Design's own roller or any suitcase that has a handle. Because of this big strap right here. It's got 2 oversized handles that go all the way across the top of the bag. You get very clear visibility for everything that you have packed in here. It almost reminds me of a very large tech pouch or something in the way that it's designed and kind of envelopes out like that. And this thing is like quick access from the ground up. All of the pockets are huge, very high visibility everywhere you look, and it can even store up to a 16-inch laptop in this as well. This does come with a detachable strap using very high quality metal hardware. There's a fair amount of padding on this, not anything like what we've seen on the backpacks that I've covered so far, but relatively substantial. And for adjusting the strap, they've got a similar mechanism as what we've seen on the everyday sling, for instance. It's a mix of metal and plastic, feels great to use, and I think pretty easy to adjust on the fly without having to think too much about it. And then last but not least, well, if we're being honest, probably least exciting out of the releases, but this is the Travel Crossbody 3 liter. And what immediately struck me about this one is it's very, very similar to Peak Design's tech pouch. Same origami inspired interior for the organization. I mean, at a glance, could you even tell me which is which? The main difference being in this one, it has an integrated strap and just much slimmer profile. And you just have a variety of pockets on either side, one of which zips, still has the AirTag pocket. And with that origami approach, you have a number of different pockets in the center of it as well. So a very simple product compared to the other ones, but looks great. Still has the Versa shell, still has ultra zips. Very easy to throw on, take throughout your day. And the strap does tuck away into a small pocket in the back if you just wanted to throw it into one of your other bags. Okay, so that will do it for these new additions to the travel line from Peak Design. They are launching this on Kickstarter, just like they always do. By the time you're watching this, that is already live. So if you're interested in these at all, now is the time, I'm telling you, because they will never be this cheap again, most likely. So go and get that early bird pricing, playa. The link's right there. And if you're familiar with this channel, you'll know that I do very in-depth reviews usually, and those will be coming, at least for the 2-in-1. I can guarantee that, because I have so much more to say about that. But let me know if you do want to see one on the 20-liter travel backpack or on the 25-liter weekender. Probably not going to do one on the crossbody. That would be like a 30-second video. And let me know what other bags you want to see from other companies as well. I'm always listening, always open to it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you on the next one.